जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी।
जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी।
गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवराधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन।
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन।
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज विहारी।
यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज विहारी।
जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन।
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन।
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज विहारी।
यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज विहारी।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschate Deshadharine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome to all. Today we are going to discuss the second chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, titled Contents of Gita Summarized. This chapter is divided into 5 divisions. The first division is Arjuna's dilemma and surrender, verse number 1 to 9. Second division is called Sankhya Yoga, the analytical description of the material body and soul, verse number 10 to 30. Third division is called Karma Yoga, verse number 31 to 38. Fourth division is called Buddhi Yoga, verse number 39 to 53. The last division is called Characteristics of a Self-Realized Soul, verse number 54 to 72. So, we have discussed a last chapter, first chapter, observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Let's have a short recap so that we can understand the flow of the subject. So in the first chapter, Dhritarashtra asked Sanjaya, "My dear Sanjaya, after assembling the place of pilgrimage called Kurukshetra, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do, being desirous to fight?" Sanjaya responded to Dhritarashtra, "O king, after looking over the armies arranged by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana approached his guru Dronacharya and he explained about the warriors who are fighting for the both the parties. After hearing this, Bhishma blew his conch shell very loudly to give Duryodhana joy. And also he conveyed by blowing his conch shell, 'My dear grandson Duryodhana, I am ready to fight for you and give up my life for you.' After Bhishma blew his conch shell, Arjuna and Krishna, they blew their transcendental conch shells. Followed by Yudhishthira, Bhima, Nakula, Sahadeva, and all other warriors, they blew their respective conch shells. The combined sound of the conch shells was uproarious. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. When Kauravas blew the conch shell, there was no heartbreaking part of Pandavas. Since Pandavas took shelter of Krishna, they remained fearless. Then Arjuna, he was sitting on his chariot and told Krishna, "My dear Krishna, please draw my chariot and place in between the two armies so that I may look at the warriors who have come here to fight with me and with whom I should fight. I want to see those kings who have come here to please Duryodhana." Krishna received the order from Arjuna and drove the chariot and placed in between the two parties, two armies, and said, "My dear Arjuna, please look at all these warriors." Arjuna saw full grandfathers, fathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brother, son, well-wisher, friends. He saw the different grades of people, friends, relatives, family members. All of them were standing in a fighting spirit. So after seeing all the people, Arjuna was overwhelmed with compassion and said to Krishna, my dear Krishna, when I see all my relatives and friends are standing in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering. My skin is burning. My Gandiva bow is slipping from my hand. I am not able to stand here any longer. I see only the causes of misfortune. My dear Krishna, when all my friends and family members, relatives are standing here and they're ready to give up their life for the sake of getting the kingdom, why should I wish to kill them? I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for all three worlds. What to speak of the earth alone? Sin will be overcome if we kill our friends and relatives. Therefore, it's not proper for us to kill our friends and relatives. These people are driven by the greed. They do not know what is right and what is wrong. But we know what is right and what is wrong. Therefore, why should we kill our friends and relatives? I also heard anyone who destroys the family tradition will go to hell. Therefore, my dear Arjuna, I don't wish to commit such sinful activity. How strange that we are prepared to commit such a sinful activity driven by greed to enjoy royal happiness. I don't want to fight with them. Rather, let the sons of Dhritarashtra would kill me unarmed, unresisting. I don't want to fight with them. He put his bow and arrow down and sat on the chariot. His mind is filled with the grief. Arjuna had a compassion, forgiveness, and soft-heartedness, kindness. He had a nice quality that attracted the mercy of Lord to receive transcendental knowledge. This is the end of first chapter. Second chapter begins with Sanjaya is explaining to Dhritarashtra. When Krishna saw Arjuna was sitting on the chariot full of compassion, lamentation, and his eyes filled with the tears, Krishna spoke to Arjuna. Sri Bhagavanu Vacha Kutastva Kashmalam Idam Vishami Samupastidam Anarya Justam Asvargyam Akirti Karam Arjuna. My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you at the hour of crisis? It's not befitting a person who knows the values of life. It will not take you to heavenly planet, but infamy. Please do not surrender to the idea of giving up the battlefield and running away. Give up the weakness of your heart. Get up with a determination and fight. You must chastise your enemies. Here in the second verse of the second chapter, Krishna begins his talk. It's called Bhagavanu Vacha. Everywhere we have seen Dhritarashtra Vacha, Sanjaya Vacha, Arjuna Vacha. So here it's not mentioned Krishna Vacha. It is mentioned as Bhagavanu Vacha. Who is Bhagavan? What is the definition of Bhagavan? In the Vishnu Purana, Parashara Muni defines who is Bhagavan. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashriya jnana vairagyoschaiva shanna bhaga iti gana. One who possesses wealth in fullness, knowledge, power, beauty, fame, renunciation is called Bhagavan. This all the 6 items: wealth, beauty, knowledge, fame, renunciation, power. These are called features of attraction. In this world, we are attracted by somebody who is very rich. When we hear about Mukesh Ambani or Bill Gates, we are attracted. We remember. The moment we hear about wealthy people, immediately we remember Bill Gates or Mukesh Ambani. We are attracted by somebody who's powerful in this world. We remember President of United States or sometimes Prime Minister because they are powerful. We are attracted by somebody who's very beautiful, renounced person, very famous. So because this all things are called features of attraction. When all these features are reposed in one place without any rivalry, that is called conception of God. So Krishna has got all the qualities, all these features of attraction. Krishna, the very name of Krishna is all attractive and is full of all these qualities. Right from the beginning of his childhood, he had all these things. So beautiful Krishnas. So Krishna had all these qualities, therefore is called Bhagavan. In this world we can see somebody will be a rich person, maybe for 10 years, 20 years, and somebody will replace him after some time. Somebody is so beautiful now, after 10 years somebody else come. Somebody will be famous now, after somebody will become famous. So this is all temporary. No one can claim that is always rich, always beautiful, always powerful. No one can claim. Only Krishna, God, can claim that he is always beautiful, always powerful, always rich. Therefore is called Bhagavan. So then Arjuna started saying to Krishna, my dear Krishna, you are saying that I should fight with my enemies. Now tell me, how can I counteract with arrows in the battle like a Bhishma, Drona, who are worthy of my worship? It is by the grace of Dronacharya I have learned the military science. It is my grandfather who supported me all the time. Now, how can I attack them? How can I attack my grandfather Bhishma and my teacher Drona? They are worthy of my worship. Arjuna was confused. He did not know what to do, whether to fight or not to fight. A Kshatriya means he needs kingdom to rule. He cannot beg. Kshatriya cannot beg. If he had to fight, then he had to kill all the family members, which he did not want to do. So he was completely confused. Therefore, he surrendered unto Krishna. My dear Krishna, I am completely confused about my duty. I do not know what to do. I lost all my composure due to weakness of my heart. Therefore, I am surrendering unto you. Please instruct me what is good for me. You see how a disciple to ask a spiritual master, although Arjuna was elevated person, nevertheless he surrendered himself unto Krishna and asking Krishna, please instruct me what is good. Like a children should ask father, Father, whatever you feel good for me, you do that. Always parents are kind towards their children. A children should not go and demand from father and mother, I want this, I want this, I want bike, I want this. They know actually what is good for children. Therefore, one should not go and ask, demand anything from parents. They are always our real well-wishers. They know what is good for us. They will provide everything whatever we require. So Krishna, being a kind father, he knows what is good for Arjuna. Therefore, Arjuna asked Krishna, please instruct me what is good for me. So far the talk was going on between Arjuna and Krishna like a friends. Argument was there. Arjuna was arguing with Krishna. Now the moment Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, Krishna took the role of a master and began to chastise Arjuna. Krishna said, my dear Arjuna, you are talking like a learned person. While speaking the learned words, you are mourning for which is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise, they lament neither for the living nor for the dead. In other words, Krishna indirectly told Arjuna, you are fool number one. You are talking like a learned person, but the learned person never lament for the loss of the material body. Because Arjuna had compassion for all the friends and relatives. Therefore, he started crying. Learned person know where the compassion should be applied. Where the compassion should be applied. The ignorant person does not know where the compassion should be applied. One should feel compassion for the soul. That is self-realization. Not for the body. Arjuna was feeling compassion for the material bodies of the friends and relatives. A learned person never show compassion for the material bodies. Rather, they show compassion for the eternal soul. It is just like a person is traveling on the boat. Somehow he slipped and fell into the river. Somebody saw this. He jumped into the water and took out the coat of the person, and leaving the person to be drowned, he saved the dress of the person and came back to the bank. Does not make any sense. He took the dress of the drowning person. Does not make any sense. No intelligent person will appreciate the activity of the person who saved the dress, who took away the dress and leaving the person to be drowned. Similarly, we are the spirit soul. The body is a dress. If anyone cares for the dress, leaving the person is not a very intelligent person. This is what Krishna is telling to Arjuna. Intelligent person does not lament for the body, but for the soul. So then Krishna began to explain about the Sankhya philosophy, the analytical study of the body and the soul. Krishna wanted to instruct Arjuna. There was a mother had two children. One was a 12-year-old, younger son was 7-year-old. The elder one was not well, he had a typhoid. Doctors told mother, don't give him a solid food. Give him only liquid food, ganji. The person, he was taking only ganji for a couple of days, he was fed up. When mother was not there, he called his younger brother. He told younger brother, I am feeling hungry, I feel like eating some paratha or chapati, something like that. So immediately younger brother felt compassion for elder brother. He went and brought some chapati and gave. The elder brother ate, and after some time it aggravated his disease. when mother came to know that younger brother brought chapati and gave to elder brother, mother started beating the younger son. What was the mistake of younger son? He had compassion. He had compassion for his brother. Why he was beaten? Because he did not know how to apply compassion, where to apply compassion. To do good thing is not enough. One should have knowledge to do good thing. So Arjuna didn't have knowledge about the soul. He was concerned for the material body. Therefore Krishna had to instruct Arjuna, because he surrendered himself unto Krishna. So Krishna took up the position of a master and he wanted to give him the lesson. What is the first lesson Krishna gave to Arjuna? He says, Natyaham jatunasam natvanemi janadipa nachaiva bhavishyami sarve vayam ataparam. My dear Arjuna, never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all the kings. Nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. That means we all existed in the past, we exist now, in the future also will exist. Everyone is the individual soul. Sometimes some philosopher says, after our death, we'll become one with God. Krishna refutes that statement by saying that we will remain individual even in the future. We will not become one with God. Always we are eternal. Always we are eternal. We maintain our individuality even in the future also. Then next Krishna explains about how the soul transmigrate from one body to another body. He says, Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhirastatra na muyyati. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, similarly the soul passes to another body at the time of death. The sober person is not bewildered by seeing such change. Arjuna was having concern that he had to kill Bhishma, Drona. Krishna says here that already they have changed their bodies many times. From boyhood to youth to old age, they have changed their bodies. Death is nothing but a change of body. The person who is intelligent, one who knows the knowledge of body, soul and super soul, is called Dhira, a sober person. He is not bewildered when he sees somebody is dying, because death is nothing but the change of body. A Dhira is not bewildered by seeing such change. The next Krishna says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya Shitoshno Sukhadukkada Agama Apayano Nitya Thamti Dikshasva Bharata. My dear Arjuna, the appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are just like the appearance and disappearance of summer and winter season. Therefore, one must learn to tolerate without being disturbed. So when we perform our duties, invariably we have to undergo some kind of challenges, problems, because all connected to our body. One should learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Arjuna had a concern while executing his duty. But Krishna says, you must learn to tolerate all the challenges. It will be there. The happiness and distress always will be there. It will come and go. Just like a summer and winter season comes and goes. Nothing is permanent. Neither summer season permanent nor winter season is permanent. Similarly, neither happiness is permanent nor distress is permanent. Like a seasonal changes. Just one should learn to tolerate. So what is the result of tolerating the happiness and distress without being disturbed? Emina vetyanti ete purusham purushashraba samadukka sukkam dhiram somurtatvaya kalpate. Krishna says, O best among men, he who tolerates both happiness and distress, who study in both, who's not disturbed, anyone who's not disturbed by the so-called happiness and distress, who is studying both, is certainly eligible for liberation. Krishna addressed Arjuna as Purusha Rishabha. Purusha means man, Rishabha means best. O best among the men, you should not be disturbed while executing your duty. If you get disturbed, you are not eligible for liberation. Our life is filled with sufferings and happiness. Therefore, one should tolerate. One should not be disturbed by happiness and distress. One should be studying both. Such kind of person is called best among the men. Anyone who has become indifferent to so-called happiness and distress and study in both is called best among the men. So while performing our devotional service, executing our devotional service, invariably we'll have to face many challenges. We have to get up early in the morning, do japa. People sometimes may not be kind. We'll have to face all the challenges. One should not think, why I should face all these challenges, let me give up this. I don't want to take trouble something. I want to take something which will give me peace. Such kind of person is not eligible for liberation. This is what Krishna says. When we perform our duties, we'll have to undergo all things. We should be studying both. Such kind of people is eligible for liberation. Next, Krishna explains about the different characteristics of soul, so that Arjuna should understand what is body, what is soul. Soul is indestructible. It cannot be destroyed. Soul cannot be destroyed at any point of time. It's imperishable, unborn. It doesn't take birth. Just like we take birth. It does not take birth. Therefore, there is no death also. And the soul is not killed when the body is killed. And soul is eternal, ever existing. And soul is steady. Whereas the body keeps changing. Like this body, material body. It undergoes Shatvikara, 6 kinds of transformation. It takes birth, grows, remains for some time, produces some byproducts, dwindles and vanishes. This is called Shatvikara. The body undergoes the 6 transformation, keeps changing. Whereas soul is steady, it does not change. Then it cannot be burnt by fire. Soul is unbreakable. We cannot break into pieces by any weapon. It's immovable. Immovable means it is there in the heart of a jiva. It does not move from the heart to head or leg. It does not move. It doesn't run. So I am tired, sitting in the heart, let me go to brain, let me go to leg, let me go to hand, let me go to chest. No. It's immovable from the heart. One may ask this question. When there is a heart transplantation, they take the heart from the person and they put another heart. What happens? Whether the soul goes along with the heart, because we say soul is there sitting in the heart. The soul goes away when the heart is taken out from the body. Just like this is the room, I am sitting on the chair, I am the soul. This chair is a heart. This room is a body. The room is a body, I am the soul. This chair is a heart. I am sitting. Something happens to the chair. Chair is broken. No. Chair is broken does not mean that I also should go out. I am not attached to the chair. I am sitting on the chair. I am not attached to the chair. Becomes part and parcel of chair. I am different from the chair, but I am sitting on the chair. When the chair is broken, the chair will be taken out of the room and one more chair will come. I will be here only. The soul remains in the heart. Then it is invisible. Soul is not visible to our eyes. We don't see. When somebody dies, how the soul leaves the body, we don't see. Even when the soul leaves, suddenly the soul leaves from the body. Even use the best instrument, microscope. Best microscope. Even with that instrument, we will not be able to see the soul. Because it's invisible. It's a nature. It is the quality of the soul. Next, it's all pervading. Krishna says the soul is sarvagata. The living it is spread all over the creation. In this universe, there are many planets are there. One should not conclude only Earth has got the jivas, other planet has no jivas. No. All the planets filled with the jivas. Because our material body is made of 5 elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. There are the living entities who live on the earth, live within the earth, live in the water, live in the air, live in the fire also. So one cannot conclude one cannot live in the fire. Why? Because the material body is made of 5 elements. Our body is predominantly made of earth. The aquatics, their body is predominantly made of water. The living entity which lives in the air, predominantly made of air. Similarly, the living entities live in the fire, their body is made of fire, predominantly made of fire. Even Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, that I instructed this science to sun god Vivaswan. Sun planet is there and ruled by sun god Vivaswan. King is there means citizens also are there. We can't say only king exists, there is no citizens. Then there is no meaning to the word called king. For example, our state is ruled by chief minister. So one cannot have the title as a chief minister without any citizens of the state. Simple common sense, simple logic. So there are the living entities in the sun planet also. If there are no living entities in the sun planet, then Krishna would not have used this word sarvagata, all pervading. The next, inconceivable. Soul is inconceivable. We cannot understand the soul by experiment. We cannot understand about the existence of the soul by doing some scientific experiment. Then how we can understand about the existence of the soul? One should understand the existence of the soul through Shastras, through scriptures. Shastra is the authority. In this world, everything we cannot understand by our experience, by experiment. There are many things we should accept based on the authority. Just like we have mother and father. Mother says, he is your father. we should simply accept mother's statement. We can't ask the proof. What is the proof? We should accept the words of mother. Similarly, we can't understand soul's existence because it's invisible. The character of the soul is invisible. We cannot see. Therefore, one should accept Shastra. Then last is unchangeable. Unchangeable means it does not change from its constitutional position. The soul is always atomic, very small. It can never become one with the Supreme Soul, God. It cannot change. It cannot change now also, it cannot change even after liberation also. The soul is always Anu. Super soul is always Vibhu, great. We are Anu, the Supreme Soul is great. Therefore, soul is called unchangeable. We cannot change from our position. We will remain a servant of the Lord. There are many things Krishna explains. These are the prominent characteristics of the soul. So, one nice story explained by Narada Muni to Yudhishthira. He narrated a wonderful conversation took place between Hiranyakashipu and his mother Diti. Lord Vishnu, in the form of Varaha, he killed Hiranyaksha, brother of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu became very angry. He took up his weapon and called all his associates. Namuchi, Pulama, Viprachiti, come here. Please hear what I am going to say. My enemies, the demigods, they worshipped Lord Vishnu and pleased him. Therefore, Lord Vishnu took the side of demigods and killed my very dear brother Hiranyaksha. Now I am going to take revenge against Lord Vishnu. I am going to kill Lord Vishnu to please my brother Hiranyaksha. While I am engaging the act of killing Lord Vishnu, I advise you go to earth and destroy all the people, those who perform tapasya, sacrifice, austerity, who give charity, who teaches scriptures, kill all the people. When the Brahmanas are killed, the Kshatriyas cannot perform sacrifice. When Kshatriyas cannot perform sacrifice, the demigods naturally they will not get the share through the sacrifice. Therefore, they will also die. Please go and do this act immediately. So the disciples, the followers of Hiranyakashipu, took the instruction of Hiranyakashipu as their life and soul and came back and set fire to Patashala, Goshala, all the places, burnt everything. The demigods could not get their share from sacrifice because no one was there to perform sacrifice. So they left their abode and they started wandering on the earth to see the disasters created by the followers of Hiranyakashipu. Then Hiranyakashipu performed the final ritual for his brother, who? Hiranyaksha. After performing ritual, he came home. He saw family members, mother, his sister-in-law, wife of Hiranyaksha, and the sons of Hiranyaksha. All of them were sad, filled with grief and lamentation. The Hiranyakashipu was a politician. He knew the science of diplomacy. He knew the art of talking according to time and place. And said, my dear mother, sister-in-law, my dear nephews, please do not lament for the death of a great hero, my brother. The death of a hero in front of his enemy is glorious, is desirable. Therefore, none of you should lament for the death of my brother Hiranyaksha. And said, my dear mother, in this world many people join in a family and stay for some time. As a result of their own action, they are led apart to different destination according to their own karma. However, the soul, the body is eternal, ever existing. The soul, due to minute independence, freedom, due to misuse of the freedom, the soul is obliged to get different kinds of material body and undergo the so-called happiness and suffering. The soul does not go, only the material body undergoes suffering. Therefore, no one should lament for the passing away of the soul from the body. Then Hiranyakashipu started narrating one more story that involves the conversation took place between Yamaraja and the relatives of a dead king. There was a place called Ushinara. It was ruled by a king named Swayagnya. Swayagnya was always victorious. He was a very powerful king. Whenever he would go to battle, would conquer the king and would come back. So one day he went for battle to fight. He lost his life, dead. He was on the battlefield. The news reached family members, friends and relatives. Everyone came, started crying, wives. He had many wives. Everyone started hitting their chest and, my dear husband, you have been killed. We also have been killed. You are like a kind friend to every one of us. Now you left us. We are also as good as dead. So everyone started crying, all the wife of the dead king. So the combined cry became so loud, it reached even Yamaraja. Yamaraja came to the place. He assumed the form of a small boy and said, how strange it is. These people are elder people. They are well experienced. They know very well that every day, every moment, thousands of people are taking birth. And every moment, thousands of people are also dying. We have come from the unknown place. Jiva, we don't know 50 years before where we were. Unknown place. We come from unknown place. After 50 years, we don't know which place we will go. We are also apt to die. There is no exception to this rule. But yet these people you see, although they are older than me, still they are lamenting for the loss of the body. Everyone has to die. Then he started giving one more logic. Somebody is walking on the road, he has got wallet, he drops a wallet, where everyone can see. It's a public road, everyone can see the wallet. But by destiny, the wallet is protected. Nobody sees. Therefore, the lost person comes back and takes back the wallet. Because it's protected by the Lord. On the other hand, somebody keep the money in a secluded place with so much security. Yet, the money is lost. Some intelligent thief will come and loot the money if Lord does not give protection. If Lord give protection to a person, even though he may live in the jungle, surrounded by many wild animals, still he remain alive. On the other hand, if Lord does not give protection to one, he may be inside the palace, being surrounded by so many family members, treated by the best doctors, treated by best medicine, treated by best of ventilators, still he dies. If Lord does not give protection, that's all. His case is gone. Then he started explaining about the importance of soul and the body. He said, "O foolish people, you are lamenting for the person. King Swayagnya is lying in front of you. Why are you lamenting? He has not gone anywhere. The person whom you are lamenting is lying in front of you. Why are you lamenting unnecessarily? Why are you crying that he has gone? He is there in front of you. In the past, He heard from you. He responded to you. Now at present he is not there. The person who responded, who heard, is not there. In fact, you have not seen your husband at all. You have had association with only this body. The body is lying in front of you. Then why are you lamenting? Then he started explaining, Yamaraja started explaining about one more story. There are two birds called Kulinga birds, male and female. They had a lot of children. The male and the female bird went to bring some food for the children. While they were in the forest, the hunter was there, one hunter. He put one net and put some food for the birds. The female bird was allured by the food because mother is affectionate towards children. Mother wants some food so that it can go and give to children. So the mother bird came and tried to take the food. That bird was trapped, trying to struggle to escape. When father, means husband, saw, the male bird saw, when the wife is trapped, started crying. What is this providence? Taken away my wife who is half of her body. Why not the providence can take my life also? How I am going to maintain my children? They are all waiting at home, expecting mother will come and feed them. Now how I am going to maintain? The husband bird started crying, eyes filled with tears. So the hunter was watching, immediately shot an arrow. He killed that male bird and took both male and female to home. Yamaraja was saying to the relatives of the dead king, you people are really foolish people. You do not know about your own death. Even if you cry for hundreds of years, you will not get him back alive. Meanwhile, you will also die. Like the male bird, he was killed. Similarly, you also die. Better you practice self-realization and attain, go back home, back to Godhead. So, when the family members heard this wonderful knowledge, wonderful instruction given by Yamaraja in the form of small boy, they were struck with wonder. They gave the grief. So Hiranyakashipu was explaining to Mother Diti, so you should not lament for the death of the Hiranyaksha because his spirit soul. So when we see some people die in our family members, immediately we feel very sad. We should understand we also have to die one day. At any moment we may die. But we should be prepared for the death. Should practice Krishna consciousness and achieve the goal of life. This human life is meant for going back home, back to God, and put and full stop to all the sufferings. But if one misses the opportunity, it's a fool number one. So Krishna explained the nature of the soul. It is immortal. The body is temporary. Although the soul is immortal, one should not kill. Violence is not encouraged. Although soul is immortal, violence is not encouraged. At the same time, when there is a war, violence is not discouraged. But the need must be justified by the person like Krishna. One may ask question, how Krishna, being a god, can incite Arjuna to kill? Arjuna was feeling compassion for the people. God, Krishna, is inciting Arjuna to kill. God should be kind, should protect people. How can he incite Arjuna to kill the people? So, when good argument fails, one must fight for the right cause. Suppose there is a violence in one part of the country, and government gives order to go for firing. Police may go for firing because the violence is required at the point to bring the law and order under control. The person who issues the order, he knows what he's doing, is conscious. When government gives order, government is very much conscious because they are doing this to bring the situation under control. Similarly, Krishna as a supreme justice, He knows what is good, what is dharma, what is adharma, he knows. Foolish people, without knowledge, they criticize God. For example, High Court judge, Supreme Court judge, is sitting on the bench, and there's a case. I heard the case about one criminal. He murdered some people. And judge heard the case thoroughly and gives judgment. This person should be hanged. One should not blame the judge. How judge can be so cruel to give death penalty to the criminal? If judge releases the person out of kindness, my dear so-and-so, I love you so much. I feel so much compassion for you. I'll release you, go. What he will do? He will go and kill another 1,000 people. Just imagine if a judge releases a criminal out of his compassion, out of his kindness, what will the plight of the citizens? Therefore, one should not criticize a judge. He knows, he is conscious of what he is doing. Judge has given the judgment. Next scene. Judge has given the judgment. This person should be hanged on particular day. The culprit, the criminal, was brought to the place where he is supposed to be hanged. Everything is kept. That rope, place, put whatever black cloth on cloth, cover his body. No, the operator has to simply press the button. Executor, he has to execute the order of judge. He has to simply execute, press the button. If you press the button, he will be hanged. Now the executor suddenly feels compassion for the criminal. Oh, I can't kill this person. I can't kill this person. It's a sin on my part. Let me give up this place. Let me go somewhere. It's a foolishness on the part of the executor. It's an insult to the judge. The person feeling so much compassion as if judge does not know. It's an insult to judge to say that I don't want to commit sinful activity by killing this person. I'll go to hell. No. If he does not do, he'll go to hell. Yes, he's an executor. Simply he has to execute the order of a judge. That's all. Neglecting the duty, he will incur sin. Similarly, Krishna has sanctioned the war. He is a supreme judge. He sanctioned the war. Now Arjuna is feeling some sort of compassion. He is an executor. He is an instrument. In executing the order of Lord, he feels some sort of compassion for all the people. He was under illusion. His illusion should be removed by Krishna. Therefore, Krishna instructed this transcendental knowledge to Arjuna to remove his illusion. Therefore, no one should blame Krishna. So, this is the second part. Third part is called Karma Yoga. Sir. Karma Yoga. Krishna explains about Karma Yoga. The duty of a Kshatriya is to fight for the right cause. Therefore, they should be always expecting the opportunity to fight. Why? When they fight, either they will win or they die. If they win, they'll enjoy the earthly opulence. If they die, they'll go to the heavenly planet. In either way, there is no loss for the Kshatriya. Therefore, Krishna is saying, Arjuna, you do not run away from the battlefield. It's a good opportunity for you to fight. Either win or lose. Doesn't matter. Both the way you'll get benefit. If you run away from the battlefield, then people will think that you ran away from the battlefield not out of compassion. They'll think out of cowardness, out of fear of facing Bhishma, Drona and Karna, you ran away from the battlefield. You have been honored by people that you are a hero. No, if you run away from the battlefield, they will consider you a zero. People will mock at you. They will scorn at you. A person who has been honored dishonors worse than a death. Therefore, it is better for you to fight and die on the battlefield than withdraw. So, this is called Karma Yoga, this third section. Next section is called Buddhi Yoga. What is Buddhi Yoga? Buddhi Yoga means a person who has got intelligence. He takes the path of devotional service. He takes the path of devotional service. Intelligent people take the path of devotional service. What is the aim? The aim of a person who has taken the path of devotional service is only one. What is that? How to satisfy Krishna. Simply by satisfying Krishna by our activities, we are assured of going back home, back to Godhead. That's all. Nothing is required. They do not have any other desire other than satisfying Lord Krishna, fulfilling the desire of Lord Krishna. So Krishna's desire is to reduce the burden of the earth, to remove all the unwanted people on the surface of the earth. Arjuna should understand the desire of Krishna and must execute. This is called intelligence in Krishna consciousness. On the other hand, those who are not intelligent, they are carried away by the flowery words of Vedas, which recommends to perform different kinds of sacrifice that will elevate one to the higher planet system, higher planets, where one can get a beautiful body, enjoy opulent life, have a beautiful wife, and have a nice time. But after that, he has to come back again. The so-called enjoyment, opulence in the heavenly planet is only time being. It's not permanent. They have to come back. Anyone who's attached to opulence and sense gratification, for him, determination for devotional service does not take place. So anyone who is engaged in devotional service is assured of going back home, back to Godhead. But the person who's not intelligent, who's attracted to the flowery words of Vedas, he loses the opportunity, golden opportunity, to go back home, back to Godhead. This is the fourth section of Bhagavad Gita called Buddhi Yoga. And the last section called the symptoms of a self-realized soul. Arjuna asks Krishna, this is the fifth section. Arjuna asks Krishna, my dear Krishna, by what symptoms I can understand who is self-realized? Somebody is a learned person. We can understand by speech is a learned person. Somebody is a very powerful person. The way he talks, the way he takes decision, we can understand is a powerful person. Somebody will be a sick person, diseased person. He'll be coughing, he'll be giving a different kinds of sound. By that, we can understand is a diseased person. Similarly, there must be some symptoms of a person who achieved divine consciousness. My dear Krishna, what are the symptoms by which I can understand this person is a self-realized soul? Krishna says, Prajati yada kaman sarvarn partha manogatan atmanyevatma tushta siddha prajna tadochade. When a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, when a person gives up all kinds of desire for sense gratification, he finds satisfaction in the self alone. Such kind of person is achieved divine consciousness. Anyone who is freed from all material desires, he can achieve divine consciousness. As long as one has got the material desires, he cannot be peaceful. He cannot achieve self-realization. In one place, there were fishermen catching the fish and taking the fish and putting it in one basket. There was one kite swooped down and took one fish and started flying. At the sight of the kite taking the fish, many crows started saying, oh, the kite is carrying fish in its jaw. All the crows, thousands of crows started chasing and made a loud noise, caw, 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 caw. The kite went to southern direction, all the crows started chasing. Then it went to northern direction. Again they followed, went to southern direction. Whichever direction the kite went, the kite was chased by the thousands of crows, making heavy noise. The kite was filled with anxiety, fear, frustration, confusion. Due to confusion, that fish from its jaw fall off. Once the crow saw the fish fell from the mouth of the kite, the crows let the kite pass, fly. They started following the fish. Then the kite went and sat on the branch of the tree and started thinking, oh my God, this fish is the root cause of all my problem. Now I left the fish. I am free from anxiety. The fish gave me full of trouble, anxiety, tension, frustration. Now I am no longer under frustration. I am at peace. Similarly, as long as we carry the material desires with us, we'll be chased by kama, krodha, lobha, lust, greed, anger, chase us wherever we go. The moment we become free from all material desires, then we become at peace, peaceful. This is the first symptoms. And second symptom, one who is not disturbed in mind amidst threefold miseries or elated when there is happiness. Devotees, when they face challenges, they do not get disturbed. Whenever they face challenges, troubles, they accept all the troubles, all the challenges as the blessings of the Lord. They don't get disturbed. At the same time, they engage in devotional service. Lord Brahma offered a wonderful prayer to Krishna. Tatte nukkambam susmikshamano bunjan evatma kritam ibakam. Ridvak vabubir vidadan namaste jivete yo mukti pade sadhayabak. When the devotees undergo a lot of problems due to the past karma, they accept all these problems as the mercy of the Lord. At the same time, they engage in devotional service with their body, mind and words. Such kind of people are eligible for liberation because that has become the rightful claim. So devotees do not get disturbed when they face challenges. They accept everything is the blessings of the Lord. Just like a Sudama. He was a poverty-stricken person. He did not have any food. He didn't have any cloth also. Therefore, he was called Kushela, beggar, poor Brahmana. He did not blame anyone. He accepted all the situation as the mercy of the Lord. Yet, he remained peaceful. He was executing devotional service. When he went to meet Krishna and gave him some flattened rice, when he came back home, he saw his house transformed into a big palace, filled with full of opulence. Although he got so much opulence, greater than Lord Indra, he was not excited. Oh, I got so much opulence. He was not excited. He remained the same person. He neither disturbed when he was poverty-stricken, nor excited when he got so much wealth. He used all the wealth in the service of the Lord. He did not enjoy sense gratification. This is one of the symptoms of a self-realized soul. It's not carried away by so-called happiness and distress. And third one who withdraws his senses from the sense object as a tortoise draws its limbs within the shell. This is one of the symptoms of a devotee, a yogi. He acts when there is a need. He utilizes his senses when there is a need. Otherwise, it does not exhibit his senses. He keeps all his senses under his control. When there's a need, he exhibits. Just like a tortoise. When there's a need, it will exhibit its senses. When there is no requirement, it will withdraw. Like a snake charmer. Devotee is like a snake charmer. He does not allow the senses to act independently. Like a snake charmer does not allow the snakes to act independently. He keeps all the snakes under his control. Similarly, a devotee keeps all his senses under his control. When there is a need, he exhibits. Like Hanuman. He exhibited anger. Why? Because when Lord Ramachandra was insulted by Ravana, he used his anger to burn this Lanka. Arjuna used his anger. He exhibited anger in the war. Because without anger, one cannot fight. Krishna wanted this fight. Therefore, he became angry. So he used his senses only when there's a need. If that serves the Lord, devotees use the senses. If one does not conquer the senses, then the senses will carry away the mind of an intelligent person who is endeavoring to control the senses. Like Vishwamitra. He was performing severe tapasya. 60,000 years he performed tapasya. But Menaka came. Simply by hearing the bangle sound of Menaka, he lost. He had a connection with her and he begot Shakuntala. So, a devotee does not allow the senses to act independently but keeps all the senses under control. This is one of the symptoms of a self-realized soul. So Krishna concludes in this chapter saying that Arjuna, please give up all your material calculation. You simply engage your senses in my mission. My mission is to finish all these people, to reduce this burden, to remove all the unwanted kings on the surface of the earth. You use all your senses, fight for me. By engaging your senses in my service, you will enter into my kingdom. One can enter into the kingdom of God at the time of death. This is the conclusion of the second chapter. So let's have a short summary of points that we have discussed so far. If at all one wants to understand the transcendental knowledge, he must surrender unto Krishna or his bona fide spiritual master, bona fide representative. Second, learned person never laments for the death of near and dear ones. Because learned person know that we are the spirit soul, not the body. Death means change of body. Therefore, learned person never lament for the death of anyone. Third point, one should perform his duty without any attachment. Without any attachment. So, the devotee of the Lord, they have got only one aim in their life. What is that? How to satisfy Krishna. Simply by satisfying Krishna, one go back home, back to Godhead. The last point is, by engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord, we can enter into the kingdom of God at the time of death. These are the 5 summary points that we have discussed throughout this chapter. That is the end of the second chapter. We'll see in the next class. We'll discuss third chapter. Hare Krishna. Thank you.